Alright guys, you seriously don't know how excited I am to give you this book summary. This particular book will change your life if you implement what's in it to a T. I've read it 3 times over. It's by far the best book on mindfulness meditation that I've gone through and dissected. And let's just get into it. 7 of the biggest ideas from mindfulness in plain English. Okay, so there is a huge problem in society. If only I had a bigger house. If only I had a nicer car. If only I had more money. If only I had a better wife. Or if only my kids weren't so annoying. Like, I'm sure you've said these words at some point of time. In life, we are constantly chasing things, trying to get to the next level to fix this pervading sense of tension that we have. We numb ourselves with drugs and alcohol, TV shows, social media, to escape the boredom that is life. And the issue is that we have put a huge emphasis in society towards education, right? Towards flashy things, towards the outer exterior things, the superficial things that we can see, whilst ignoring our inner worlds. And it's strange because, we have all these materialistic things, living conditions that have been improved, and yet people's happiness has been going down. Why is that? Our sense of control has been going down. Addictions have been going up. Why is that? It's because we haven't tackled what's most important. Now, the problem is we live in a self-created illusion. What's an illusion? An illusion is something that's not real. Think of a magic trick, when David Blaine or whoever your favorite magician is does a trick, it's flashy, it's amazing, but at the end of the day, we know it's not real. Now, the greatest illusion we play is actually on ourselves. We can experience life through 3 modes: memories, thoughts, and mindfulness. Let's say you have a vision in your mind of your 2nd grade teacher. That vision is a memory. It often plays out kind of like a movie. Perhaps you can hear sounds or remember textures. When you become aware that it's a memory, when you notice that it's a memory, that's you being mindful. When you say, "Oh, I'm having a memory," that voice in your head, that's a thought. So those are the 3 distinct differences. Now, awareness is the truest of them all because it's you actually responding to your senses of what's happening on the outside world. Mindfulness. But what we tend to do is stay stuck in our heads. We stay stuck in what people often call the monkey mind, which conceptualizes things. So imagine that a plate breaks in the room next to you. Like, you hear the plate break, like a pow. What do? 9 times out of 10, the first thing you're going to do that's going to happen automatically is you're going to envision a plate breaking. You're probably going to picture who it is who's dropping the plate and make a judgment like, "Oh, this is bad." What's happening there is you're getting sapped out of the actual reality of the situation, the plate just falling down and breaking, and you're creating a mental image. And that mental image is not real. It's an illusion. It's your brain's go-to. It's useful, right, when it's needed, when you're doing the engineering problem, when you're planning your week. It's useful to conceptualize things and think ahead. But we are consistently conceptualizing. We are consistently creating stories in our minds that aren't true. And the biggest story that we create, the biggest illusion that we fabricate, is the illusion of ourselves. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Because we walk through life stuck in thought, we miss out on a lot of life. 10% of our experiences are great experiences, wonderful experiences. You win some money, you get your first girlfriend, you go out on a holiday. We grasp onto these experiences that we label as good. The other 10% of the experiences are bad, like we get fired, we gain weight, we get dumped. These are bad experiences and we try to keep away from those. The other 80% of experiences are just neutral, don't really affect us that much, boring, and we tend to overlook them. So if you're not careful, what tends to happen is you go out throughout your life chasing the 10% high that we feel, running away from the other 10% of negative emotions, and 80% of the time not even really paying attention, being stuck in your thought, thinking about the good feelings, running away from the bad feelings. So you actually miss out on life. You live in your mind, you live in your thoughts. And this is a sickness, believe it or not. It just doesn't seem like a sickness because everybody, or 99% of the population, is running this way. But this is the primary root of suffering. This is the primary root of discomfort. The cause of 99% of your problems is the fact that you live in a self-created world. You are not in the here and now. You are not paying attention to your life. You are not really digging deeper. You're stuck. Now, the solution is Vipassana meditation, which is mindfulness meditation. But before getting into that, let's talk about what meditation is not. Because a lot of people, get caught up in a lot of misconceptions and myths. Meditation is not otherworldly, right? It's not religious. It's not prescribed to any particular religion. It's not about fighting demons. It's not about levitating. It's not about becoming a psychic, although some people do develop psychic abilities through meditation later on, or some degree of that. It's not about that. It's not about relaxation. It's not about pleasure. They've shown studies that the human body can actually create similar chemicals such as DMT, so you can actually create your own high. But it's not about creating your own high and being stuck in this blissful state. That's not what meditation is about. Vipassana meditation, mindfulness, is about awareness. It's about penetrating reality. It's not dangerous. A lot of people fear meditation because when you're sitting down alone and you're meditating, some repressed memories, some repressed thoughts from years ago could come up, right? And cause you some sort of trauma in the moment. But that's not dangerous. That's what we want. We want to confront these things. So don't use these excuses or let these myths derail you from meditation, because there are a lot of perks that come from it. So what is Vipassana meditation? It's awareness training. It's digging deeper into the roots of reality. It's cleaning the lens. We see the world through a lens that's kind of foggy. It's kind of a little bit dirty. It's cleaning that lens so that we can see things as they really are. Just as you go to the gym, just as you go to yoga, just as you go to school, you need to train your capacity for mindfulness. It's a tool. It's something that you have to constantly work on to get the results. Each meditation, each session is kind of like a gym session. It's just step by step adding a layer of strength to your mindfulness, to your ability to dig deeper into reality, into awareness, to be able to see things as they really are. You're gonna start having revelations as you meditate. Some might take you a week, some might take you 6 months, some might take you years. But you just unwind, you break down all these things that society has taught you, all these concepts that you got from your parents, you got from your friends growing up, from watching television, from maybe the music you hear. You just unwind all those things and just look at them. You pick it up and look at it for what it is. And after some time, ultimately, after years and years of doing this, you will get to the point where even yourself, your identity, what we call the ego, this concept of self, dissolves. Because ultimately, your concept of self is created, right? If I was to hit you with a baseball bat right now and really mess up your brain, it sounds a bit horrific, but if I was to do that right now, there's a good chance you'd be someone else. There's also accounts of people that have woken up from a coma and have changed completely because their brains changed, their memories have changed, their sense of self has changed. Mindfulness is just a healthier way of doing that, of really disconstructing the negative elements of your personality that you don't need, that don't help you, that cause you suffering, that cause you to have these insidious thoughts, and just coming back to your truth, to your true self, which is awareness. With mindfulness, you no longer become a slave to urges, addictions, or any of that stuff, to automatic reactions that you can't control. You start living your life with intent, with control, doing what you want to do because you want to do it, not because it satisfies this self-created ego that the world has made for you. Okay, how to meditate. So this is actually quite simple. The way you meditate is you need to find a chair or somewhere where you can sit down, right? Preferably on the ground with a cushion. You want to sit upright with your spine neutral, not like a stick, but just naturally, your spine neutral, good posture. You then want to close your eyes. You see, when you open your eyes, there's lots of interesting things that can distract you, right? So you want to close your eyes. With Vipassana meditation, we are focusing on the breath. That's the focal point of the whole meditation. Because the mind, it needs something to focus on, otherwise it's just going to get pulled to different directions. So you set the time that you want to meditate. I recommend maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes when you start. You sit down and all you want to focus on is your breath. So you breathe as you would naturally. Your mind's going to focus on the inhalation, the exhalation. Try to focus on a particular point on your nose, maybe like right here, right at the entrance, and just focus on how it feels at that point when you inhale, when you exhale. Inhale, exhale. And you're just going to keep doing that, focusing on the inhalation and the exhalation. What's naturally going to happen, or what you're going to realize very quickly, is that you are completely crazy, that you're insane. Because this one simple thing, focusing on your inhalation, exhalation, is going to prove to be incredibly difficult. Your mind's going to wander left to right. It's going to think about memories that you had 20 years ago. It's going to think about business plans. It's going to think about desserts that your grandma made. It's going to think about playing Elder Scrolls Skyrim. It's going to think about a million different things. And you're going to try tame it and bring it back. You see, they have this saying that mindfulness is kind of like training an elephant to be disciplined. Back in the day, to train a wild elephant, what they used to do is they'll tie the elephant's leg to a post, and for a while the elephant will be really rowdy and moving and going crazy. Eventually it will understand that it can't escape and it will calm down. And once it's calmed down, that's when people will train the elephant to do tricks. The same thing with your mind. You just have to go through that process where it's crazy, but the more you work on it, it'll eventually calm down and be like water, right? The more you meditate, the more you stick at it, the more control you're going to have over your mind. You're not going to be swayed all over the place. Your concentration is going to increase, but more importantly, your mindfulness is going to increase. Concentration is good too, right? Concentration helps you focus on one thing, one task, and get that done and put your attention to that. But mindfulness is awareness. It's being able to pick up on the transient nature of life. You're going to notice that things are always moving. Thoughts are coming and going. Sounds are coming and going. Sensations in your body are coming and going. Life is pretty much just a flux of different things going on. The more mindful you are of this, everything's going to change for you. You know, when you're truly mindful, nothing is ever boring because there's always something going on. It's always different. There's always something to learn. You're penetrating deeper and deeper into reality itself and gaining more awareness. You're not living in a dream world like Neo did. Okay, let's talk about structuring your meditation practice and actually making it a habit. As we mentioned, it's just like exercising. You gotta do it consistently. So the best thing you could do to make meditation a habit is either doing it first thing in the morning when you wake up. You wake up, maybe wash your face so that you're not sleepy, and you meditate for 20 minutes or whatever the time you set is. Or you could do it in the evening when you finish work and you're just winding down. I personally recommend you do it in the morning, as you know, your willpower is going to be at its highest, and it's just better to get it done so that you have a good tone throughout the day, right? So that's the timing aspect of it. Another thing you need to keep in mind is you need to do it somewhere where it's quiet to begin with so that you can really concentrate. Don't make things hard for yourself and meditate at a construction site. You know, like that's going to be incredibly difficult. You're not going to make as much progress as if you were just to go to a quiet place. Also, be consistent with where you meditate, because that's going to train your brain to identify that place as the meditation place. And it's just going to make it so much easier to instill the habit. So maybe if you meditate on the couch, always meditate on that couch. If you meditate on a cushion, always meditate on that cushion. Don't mix it around too much at the beginning because you're really trying to create the habit. The more you show up, the better. Just focus on sitting. Focus on the meditation. Don't focus on getting it perfect. You're not going to get it perfect. A lot of people get caught up in mindfulness because they set really unrealistic goals for themselves. They think that just from 1 week of meditation, they're going to have it perfect. Their minds should be clear, that they'll be levitating and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But that's not the reality of it. It's a slow process, really. Anything worthwhile in life takes time. It takes you putting that energy in and just working on it and pulling away a layer and a layer and a layer. The more you do it, the better you're going to get. Meditation is the practice. It's not the actual event. In the same way that someone who plays basketball needs to practice their three-pointers. That's what meditation is. You're practicing your three-pointers. But if you want to get real, lasting changes, if you want to really take your life to the next level, you need to start incorporating mindfulness throughout your life. That means when you're walking to work, or let's say you catch a train, walk mindfully from your house to the train station. When you're at work and you're sitting down and you're typing, focus on your posture. Make sure that your posture is good and it's upright. When you are showering, focus on your breathing. When you're cleaning dishes, slow it down a little bit and just feel the sensation on your fingers. Mindfulness is literally just paying attention to what is, non-judgmentally, just accepting it 100% without putting that little criticism that we so often do, without saying this is bad, this is good. It's not about labeling, it's about seeing things as they come up and being like, oh, there's that. Accepting it and just moving on. Seeing something else show up here, accepting it and just moving on. Even when you have something like an itch, right, and you want to scratch it, just let it be for a little bit and just feel the sensation. You can learn from just that sensation. It's like, is the pain really as bad as it is, or is it the fact that you labeled it as pain? I got a scratch. The fact that you create a visual image of you scratching the area getting red. There's all these things that we do habitually that we never really pay attention to until we apply mindfulness to them. So the real arena is the real world. You've got to be mindful with everything you do. And that's how you're going to see real differences in terms of your relationships with other people. You're not going to get as angry as you perhaps did in the past. You're not going to get as irritated when you're more mindful, when you're just paying attention. You have to understand, most people are not mindful. Most people are living the illusion. But you can break out of that and live a better life through that. Take every moment for what it is and see it for what it is. So that is why you should read Mindfulness in Plain English. Those are 7 big ideas I have from it. If you want to check out the book, there's a link down below. You can check it out. And I hope you really take this habit seriously and start meditating, becoming more mindful, and piercing through the layers of reality.